All we ever known in this world is how by age 7, every kid should go into primary school. If not, then that kid is a disappointment and a shame to their families, while others in the same age that are too smart are forced to be in the same grade that are those his or her age with different competence, making many individuals around them feel insecure. Yet at the same time, because of this age group education, these overachievers are having a setback for fulfilling many achievements. The society and the system that we live in today group kids to go to school by age and not by their intelligence and competency. And because of this, millions of children are facing difficulties in many aspects. This is why this house is proudly proposing why we would abolish primary and middle school years that group children based on age and instead group them by competency and intelligence. Firstly, our definition for this subject matter. We think that education should be based on intelligence of a child rather by age. This is supported by our concern of how the current age-based group education are not effective and harmful in various ways, and why grouping children based on their competency and intelligence is an option that will succeed children more. This is supported by our 3 point of substantive argument. The first one is on how the current age-based group education are not effective and harmful. Secondly, the longitudinal negative impact on a children's educational career if they are stuck in an age-based education. And the third one is we will furthermore nuance on how personalized learning compared to age group education are the best education option. Firstly, a disclaimer. We do not think that kids who are lower in performance are less than other kids his or her age. We understand that this is due to a children's different environment growing up and that they too deserve the best of education that match their needs, and we will not be putting less effort educating these individuals. Moving on to our first argument is because of every children's different need, you cannot presume that kids that are in the same age have the same abilities and competence as one another. For example, teaching a child that has understood the topic of a subject will be a waste of time for the teacher and a hindering progress for the child to move on forward because he or she must wait for other peers their age to understand. But on the other side, moving on to the next subject, when an underperformed child have not understood this subject fully will be a loss to a child's potential. This makes children that are underperforming lose many years of education. This also triggers children that are economically in disadvantage to opt for dropping out of school and helping their parents earn money instead. Why? Because many children think that because they just cannot understand the subject or cannot understand education as a whole, they are wasting their time. And because of their underprivileged economy, they cannot afford a teacher, a tutor, or additional class. These individuals are also prone to feeling non-confidential on why they should ask and feeling as if they are going to be judged. Thus, creating a stigma of making education becomes a waste of time, so they work instead, making these families unable to develop their economic level. This is a common situation for many children to do this, especially in developing countries like Rwanda, Uganda, Nepal, Indonesia, and so on. Secondly, is our argument is on how the longitudinal negative impact on a children's career education if they are stuck in an age-based group. Okay, let's picture a teen in their high school years, unable to keep up with the math lesson in front of their eyes because they simply cannot understand the Pythagorean formula and that was taught to them at grade 6. This simple problem will become a huge problem when the high schooler faces a sub-subject in math just because they cannot understand the base of math that they were taught in at 6th grade. Because of he or she cannot understand the basis, making him or her fail on exams and worsening their grades. And once the university test comes up, these individuals are unable to perform in their test well, making them unable to enter a university. Thus, they will need to get a gap year and relearn everything from the start, losing time, money, and the potential that they already have on other subjects. This is the negative effect of age group learning. Also, in addition, many children that are underperforming tend to be in loss of confidence. They're afraid to ask for help and scared to be judged by their peers, eventually making them in loss of an optimism in their own self and creating a non-confidential individual. This will affect the greater part of their life in losing self-esteem. A low self-esteem can reduce the quality of a person's life in many ways. If people have low self-esteem and lack of confidence, they may have an unbalanced view of themselves and feel doubtful of their abilities and what they have to offer. This is the effect of age-based group education. Third and lastly, on how personalized learning are the best way to make children grow into their best accomplished self. This is proven by many things. Personalized learning is an educational approach that tailors instructions to each individual learner's unique learning needs. For example, I'm in grade 12. Because I struggle in math, I will have a personalized learning in math alone with my needs. While others in my age, it's okay for them to move forward because that is their intelligence and competency level, and thus making me not less than them, but making me focus on what I need to do and what I need to focus. The peers that are my age can too also focus on the subject that they are studying. That is the definition of a personalized learning. It is based on the idea that everyone learns differently and can reach their full potential when an instruction is tailored to the individual's specific needs, rather than following a one-size-fits-all approach like the age-based education that we currently have in Indonesia and many other countries. Personalized learning can involve a variety of instructional methods, including educational technology, but it is primarily focused on creating individualized learning plans and providing hands-on learning experience. Researchers obtained achievement data for personalized learning students and matched comparison group of students attending other schools serving similar population. They also collected analyzed data from site views, interviews, and surveys to create a broad picture of the school's efforts to implement personalized learning. The achievement findings indicates that compared to peers, students in school that are using personalized learning practices are making greater progress over the course of 2 school years, and that those students that started out behind are catching up to perform or at above national averages. This is why making personalized learning as the best option for every student, because like I said in the beginning, every kid has their own competence and intelligence, and every kid needs a personalized learning experience to make sure that they are achieving their best version of themselves. For example, in 2010, a fifth grade student named Jack in Santa Ria Elementary School uh, is struggling to keep up. He just cannot understand. But Jack's story took a less familiar turn. His school transformed his class into a blending learning environment. After 7 days of using Khan Academy's online math tutorials and exercising, for a portion of his math 3 to 4 days a week, Jack rose to become one of the top students in his class. He was working on material well above grade levels. Jack's rapid progress is an example of how we should, in Indonesia, should put personalized learning in classes and personalized learning in age groups. That is all for me, and that is why, with all of our substantiate proof aligned, this House is incredibly proud to propose. Thank you.